Welcome to Kickstart the Mothership. I'm Barbara Nixon. I was going to say Barb Nixon there. I'm Barbara Nixon. And
I'm Shannon Stone. Shannon Stone.
Shannon Stone.
I had to say it twice.
Oh no, who we are and what we're doing. So welcome to another episode of Kickstart the Mothership. We are still going through, it's actually the last time that we're talking about the success.
This is episode 4, which is the 4th. We do 4 episodes per book. So yeah, we're here already.
It's come around fast. I've really enjoyed delving into this book again.
Yeah.
I hope you have enjoyed listening. And today, so the book is The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. There's a link in the show notes if you want to go and grab it and play along. But today we are talking about principle number 54, which is on page 429 of my copy. And this principle is keep your agreements. Oh, this is a good one, isn't it? Keep your agreements.
Such a good one. Mm-hmm.
Right. So what do we think about this? Because it brings up all the things for me, because it's to me, this is all about keeping your agreements with yourself. And we've touched upon this a few times in the other episodes, haven't we? So if you've not listened, go back and check the other episodes out, because they are pure gold, if I say so myself. But this is very much about keeping the agreements with yourself and keeping your own promises. So what do you reckon? What comes up for you?
Yeah, my mind straight went to where yours was, which was about keeping your agreements with yourself, I think. And this book I feel like the consensus is it's a lot about us. That's what personal development is. It is personal, and it's not about everything out there and all the people out there. It's working with ourselves and keeping our own agreements. It reminds me of when we spoke about I think it was principle number 1, 100% responsibility, letting go of excuses and letting go of them forever. It's like, and again, common thread in this book, it's that whole drawing a line in the sand. It's like, I'm going to keep my commitments. I'm going to keep my agreements, especially the ones to myself. This is a big one. I feel like it was one of the ones when you open it, it's like, oh, this one's a bit deep. It's an important one.
It is such an important one. And again, it ties in nicely with the other agreements that we've talked about, with 99% is a bitch and 100% is everything. But I love the fact that this one makes you think, because breaking your own promises happens I think it happens on an unconscious level. It happens without us realizing it. We go, oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, it's okay. There's probably not an awful lot of thought that goes into it. It's just, I'm not doing it. I've just decided I'm not done. So
it's letting ourselves off the hook,
Off the hook. Yeah. So if you listen to the last episode, we spoke about me deciding that I wanted to be a runner one year. And there were those moments where I just didn't want to put my trainers on. And then I realized quite quickly that for me, putting your trainers on was the hardest part, because there was always a reason not to. Oh, it's raining. Oh, it's snowing. Oh, it's dark. Oh, it's warm in here. Oh, somebody's just brought out a box of chocolates. Oh, somebody's put on a box set. Oh, my friend's going to call, or whatever. There's always a reason not to. But, and it's easy to just go, okay, then. I'll bother. And that's the hurdle, that there's kind of the bridge that we have to cross all the time.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this is where all the principles start to compound as well. So with keeping an agreement to yourself, like and I think it's like being intentional. It's like, well, do you actually want to tell yourself you're going to do this thing? Because only tell yourself if you're actually going to do it. And if you're actually going to follow through, and that doesn't matter how big or small that thing is. It's like, if you say you're going to get up at a certain time, are you going to get up at a certain time? Or, something big and something, are you going to start that business like that? Keep that agreement. Is this the year you said you're going to start that business, or you're going to get your business to that next level? Or are you just going to let yourself off the hook? Are you just, we'll see.
We'll see for this book, isn't it, of this podcast. One of the things that you said, which actually made me think was the fact that whenever I've made a commitment to myself, one of the reasons why I don't break it, and let's be honest, I've broken a lot of agreements with myself. I'm not perfect, but there's one of the reasons that I don't, on the times that I don't break it, it's where I get bored with what I say to myself. So we can all say, and I'm sure we all do, where we go, oh, this is the year that I'm gonna write my book, or I'm definitely looking for that new job, or I'm definitely gonna move house, or I'm definitely gonna whatever. I'm going to definitely start running, or I'm definitely going to fill in your own gaps here. It's sometimes you just bore yourself of either writing it down on your to-do list or talking about it all the time, or when you say to your friends or your family, you go, oh yes, I really want to do that. Well, when are you actually going to do that? Because right now you're like a broken record.
Yeah, I've had those broken record moments. It's like, are you actually just like, who are you trying to convince? Or it's like you can get sick of your own BS. That's it.
Those moments where you're just like, oh, I'm bored of this. Either make a decision, I'm either actually going to learn Spanish or I'm not. What is it going to be? And that's something that I kept saying to myself for years. Not Spanish, but it was Italian. Every year on my New Year's resolution, it was learn Italian, learn Italian, learn Italian. And then one year I went, no, I'm not going to do that.
No, in Italian.
I've not done it. I'm bored of writing it. I'm going to let myself off the hook and not do this, and decide to create an agreement that I actually want to keep, that's got my full, I'm fully on board with.
That's important what you said. It's like sometimes the agreement is, I'm not doing that thing anymore. It's like, I'm not learning Italian this year, or maybe every other year after. I'm just not. And that is the agreement, because we can get into a loop of thinking, and New Year's resolutions, the beginning of the year is such the time for it, where we are so ambitious and we want to change everything about ourselves and do all the different things. But like, isn't it better to even accomplish 1 or 2 or 3 things rather than not accomplishing 10 different things that you told yourself you were going to do, but you never even got started on it? This
is where the shoulds come in, doesn't it? So back to New Year's. On New Year's resolutions, like you said, we do this all the time, and we go, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna become like Wonder Woman or whatever, Lara Croft or something. I'm gonna run that marathon this year, or because I feel as though I should. I'm going to give whatever, again, fill in your own blanks. I'm going to become a better version of me because I feel as though I should. But I think there's an element of, well, actually, what do I want to do? What do I really do? And what do I have to do? So maybe you want to start running because you're fed up of sitting on the sofa, or because there's a health reason, or because it's been on your bucket list forever and a day and you really genuinely want to, then keep that agreement.
Yeah, definitely. I had like 5 questions and now I have none. they've left my head. They're all gone.
When that happens, when you just get questions and then I have no questions at all.
Left. But I did highlight something in this chapter. It's the piece I highlighted. It says, we don't recognize, or we don't realize, the psychological cost of doing so. And he's implying to where we break our word. And I think it's like we can, and I know Mel Robbins talks about this, especially with the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, especially with getting up in the morning, not hitting the snooze button. The psychological, it's like we can train ourselves that our alarm clock sound means to stay in bed, because we train ourselves to hit snooze all the time. And it's like, well, when are you going to trust yourself, and how will you build that trust with yourself? And I think it does start small. It's like, and you've really, one of the things you've taught me is like, stop thinking we can do all the big things. Like, we can, but we start small. And I remember hearing, it could have been on a podcast, I think it was like a personal trainer teaching someone how he works with his clients, and he wanted people to maybe it was like hit 10,000 steps a day, for example. But he didn't want them to start there. He would tell them, I just want you to walk to that corner, like just from here to like the letterbox, basically. And every day you just do that. And the thing was, he wanted them to build trust with themselves. Every day you walk to the letterbox and back. And then when you're ready to move the boundary, I guess you could say, then you walk to the corner. And then you build that trust with yourself, and then you walk to the next block or whatever it might be. And so I think it's perfectly okay, and actually probably needed, that we break it down really small and we build trust with ourselves. And I'm going to do this today, and then maybe tomorrow I'll build up upon that.
Yeah, and I'm going to do this today, and I'm going to celebrate the fact that I've done it, even if not to be hard. I think that's the thing. To make things really, really hard for ourselves this illusion. We've got to, if we're not working hard, then it's not good enough, or we're not successful. That spreads across all areas of our lives. So walking from here to the post box, that's enough for today, and I've done it, and I'm celebrating it, and I'm going to tick that box, and I'm going to go and dance from the post box back to my house because I've actually done it. And that's and it doesn't, knowing that it doesn't always get to be hard. It doesn't have to be hard. We can acclimatize to things. One of the things I just want to kind of jump back to before I forget, and there's nothing in my head as well. You mentioned about hitting snooze, and I think again there's a decision to make here with, because I still do this, I have to be honest, I still hit the snooze button because I realized that I like the hitting the snooze button, right? So there was one time I was getting up at 7 o'clock, and I had to get up at 7 o'clock. And so I realized that I started setting my alarm for like 6:30 so I could keep hitting the snooze button, because it felt like a trick. It felt like, oh, I get to have 2 more minutes. Oh, I get to have 2 more minutes. I get to have 5 more minutes. And I liked the notion, the kind of feeling of staying in bed, and it's it's nice and cozy, and maybe I was feeling a bit mischievous, and I'm cheating it a little bit. Made me feel really, really good. So we have to think about whether we're doing it because we're feeling demotivated, or whether we're doing it because we're not feeling somebody's just phoned, I'll just turn it off. Whether we're doing it because we're demotivated, or whether we're doing it because it makes us feel great, right? So again, if you don't want to hit the snooze button, then admit to yourself that, keep your own promises and think, actually, I don't get up at 7. I get up at 7:30. So I'm going to change my alarm and get up at 7:30, and that's okay. Or I don't want to be rushing around in the morning, so really I have to get up at 7 and stop messing about. But we have to decide, sort of dig a little bit deeper, rather than just stopping doing something. Think, okay, what is my intention here? What do I really want to look like?
It's being honest, isn't it? It's just being honest with yourself.
We probably don't do that enough, do we?
No. But I have to give it up to us in our daily chats. There's times when we call ourselves out. We'll say, this, I did this, or I didn't do this, or this, here's a limiting belief that I've come across. And, I think that takes a lot of guts.
I think so. We do tend to pull out the limiting beliefs, or call each other out, don't we? And go, yeah, that's just bull. Just what you're talking. Gosh, go away and think about that for a minute.
You stick to your side of the world, and you please think about what you thought about.
Exactly. Just think about that, and then come and talk to me.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a friend like us. Slap down.
Personal responsibility. Exactly. Think about this. Go to bed, and we'll talk about it in your morning.
Exactly. Yeah. No wonder I wake up at 2 o'clock riddled with anxiety.
Barbara's going to get me. She's going to want to know, did I work through that limiting belief? Do I know where the trauma came from?
But yeah, keep your agreements is so important. Right. So I think we need a commitment here, especially because this is our last look at this book. I think we need to delve into what have we taken away, what we're going to do different, because this isn't actually our first trip into success
principles. Yeah.
This a lot. But it'd be really lovely to pick something out of it and be better as a result from this trip around. What do you reckon? What is it going to do for you? Have you got any thoughts about it?
I think it's what I take away every time I read the book, and it's the first principle. It's take 100% responsibility for your life. And to me, that one is just everything. That one's got the one of letting go of excuses forever. For me, that's always the standout one. If I forget anything and I just remember, no, Shannon, you have to take 100% responsibility. You look at it, see what your input is on this, and then change it from there.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good one. I always come back to that one as well. But I'm going to pick a different principle just for the sake of it, because you've picked the one that I wanted. I should have gone first.
I'll tell you my second one after.
But the one that I actually do want is decide what you want. Now, I talk about this all the time because it's so dear to my heart. And as a success coach, this is just imperative that we just it's more about giving yourself permission to want what you want. And I think there's so much, we block ourselves in so many ways about this by, again, all the shoulds and can I and I can't have that. But deep down inside, we all secretly know. I have this belief, I've seen it play out time and time again. We all secretly know what we want. Sometimes we just are a little bit nervous about saying it out loud to ourselves and to somebody else. But it's where everything starts. Once you know what you want, it lights you up. You've got a goal. Your brain loves a goal. You know, it's like our GPS, and all of a sudden magic happens. And I do believe that you meet you halfway then once you start taking action from that place. So yeah, that's my principle that I absolutely love. And it's something that I practice all the time, probably on a really regular sit down and go, what is it that I want? What do I want to have?
Yeah, I like that. One little hack I have to share, and I did this with a different book that I read, but this would be a great one to do it with as well, because I'm very much a visual person. So get an A4 piece of paper, whatever size paper you like, but A4 I think at least, and write down all 67 principles and have them on that paper and sitting in front of you, because we've spent the time to go through this book, and sometimes we just need the prompt of, for example, number 27, keep your eyes on the prize. We don't need to reread the whole thing, but that will prompt, okay, keep your eyes on the prize. Or number, number 50, tell the truth faster. Like, we've spent a lot of time telling the truth or saying, be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. So I think if we write down all the headings, have that visually in front of us, to me, that's a really awesome prompt. And I just look at that and it just reminds me, oh yeah, that's right.
Love that. Such a good tip. Love it. So if you haven't got the book yet, go, if you want to, go get yourself a copy.
Only if you want to. Only if you want to.
You're allowed to.
Do what you want. Decide what you want.
Yeah, exactly. So the link to the book is in the show notes. So you can go find it. What we'd love you to do is, if you're playing along with us, and it's not too late to start, if you're playing along, then please do tag us on social and tell us what you're up to. Tell us what you're committing to, because this is what this podcast is all about. It's not just knowing more stuff. And this is what I say in all of my any workshops or group programs or anything. It's all right learning some stuff, but it's no good at just rattling around in your head. You know, we want to put it into practice. The whole purpose is to improve ourselves in some way or grow in some way. So tell us what you're committing to. Tell us what you're going to have a go with, because we're also things as well.
Definitely read the book and action it at the same time as well. You know, treat it not as a book, but like a workbook. Like, you want to put it to work.
Yes. But we are your accountability buddies. We are here to cheer you on, and you feel free to cheer us on as well. So tag us, let us know what you're up to, let us know your journey, because that's where the fun is, isn't it? That's
yeah, definitely. It's been a great book. It's a good one. And I love spending 1 month on one book. We'll talk about it on a weekly basis. And we should introduce what the book is for next month as well.
I was just about to do that. So let's find it. We are going to look at a book that neither of us have read yet. So completely new to the pair of us, and it's called Joyrider by Angela Scanlon. Now, we have no idea about this book. It floated into our vortex, if you like, into our space not long ago, and so we thought, right, we're not going to read it until it's time to read it. We're going to read it and implement it and see what happens. So we've put the link again for this book in the show notes. If you want to play along, feel free to go and buy it, and we're going to spend the next month doing this.
Joyrider, how gratitude can help you get the life you really want. That'll be a good one.
That will be a good one.
Yeah. I'm going to listen to the audio. How are you going to digest it?
I am going to, I've got the Kindle, so it's on my phone at the minute. So maybe if I dive in, as we've already said, maybe it might be an all the versions kind of book.
All the versions. Angela's going to get credits from Barbara and Shannon. They bought it 3 ways.
They bought it 3 ways. But for now, it's just on my phone. It's on my Kindle app, and you've got it on Audible, have you?
I will get it on Audible for sure. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, so that starts next week. We've put the book in the show notes so you can go and find it and play along if you want to. But there's still some jobs that you've got to do. Firstly, tag us, tell us what you're committing to. Give us some feedback as well. Tell us what you're loving about the podcast. Please leave a review. That really does mean the world to us. So go on your favorite podcasting app and leave us a review, and hit the subscribe button whilst you're there, because why not? You're there anyway. You might as well.
Yeah.
The other thing we'd love you to do is share this episode with somebody that you know. So if you know somebody that is struggling with the kind of things that we're talking about, or either think they just quite like the topics, share it and share the love, because we really do.
Definitely. Share it with everyone. Everyone needs to kickstart the mothership in their own life, and it starts with this podcast.
It really does.
We're good at tooting our own horn. It starts here.
That's all right. We give everybody permission to blow your own trumpet. It's perfectly all right. And that's it for this episode. So we'll see you next week. It's been fun.
Yeah, I'll see you then. New book, new month. See ya.
Yeah, exactly. See ya.